Hi everyone, I'm here at the Stitchin Post and I'm Nancy, one of the knitting ladies, and I wanted to go over yarn weight and what that means, and the diameter of the yarn determines what weight and what needle. So Trisha's going to come behind me. I'm kind of going to use this as a guide. If you look up under yarnstandards.com, you can download this. And again, it's a guide to me. Nothing is ever set in stone. So let's start with lace. Lace here, the diameter is the smallest. And if I come back to what it says, it will tell you so many stitches per 4 inches usually, or per the inch. And this is on a US 2. It could also be a 1, and that's kind of what I'm trying to show here, that a 0 is a lace. Sometimes they'll be numbered, sometimes they won't be. And I'm going to talk about this after. Next, if I go up from lace, you're going into fingering. And fingering is labeled in a couple of ways. You can have a light fingering, such as this. Again, US 3 needle. Fingering can be called socks. What socks means usually is it has about 25% of nylon or a really super tight twist like in Malabrigo. So it doesn't use nylon, but it's good for socks. Again, it's fingering weight. And fingering weight here, anywhere from so many stitches, needle size 1 to 3. Moving on to sport weight, and again, they look different, and it's based on the bloom or the twist. But again, if I come back to my gauge, a sport weight is anywhere from needle size from 3 to 5. And I'm going to kind of simplify it a little, because if you take lace and you double it, 2 strands of lace equals fingering. If I take that fingering and add 1 strand of lace, I get sport. If I take that fingering and double it, now I'm up to DK weight. And DK weight, needle size 5 to 7 as a standard. Again, it will tell you on back, labels are for all the information, and it says here a US 6. And it's, again, we're talking the diameter of the yarn. Same thing here, if I look at the back of the label, again, it's telling me a US 6. DK weight. If I take my DKs and I double it, I'm going to get what's called worsted weight. A worsted weight can look different based on the type of yarn it is. Superwash, kind of fluffy, thick and thin. Again, worsted weight, if I come back to here, usually needle size 7 to 9. If I take that worsted weight and I add a strand of DK, I get an Errand weight. So a little bit heavier, kind of hits that size 9 to 10 inch, US 9, 10 needle. And can sometimes be knit on a tighter needle, depending on what you're knitting, or a looser needle. If I go to chunky, here, and I'm on to my 9s to 11 needles, sometimes 13s. And then again, down here, I have my super bulky to jumbo. Thus, you're talking the diameter of my thumb. Now, there's one other yarn I want to kind of talk about, which is usually a mohair silk combination, alpaca, brushed alpaca, that has a bloom to it. This is considered, if I look at the back of the label, a lace weight. But if I take this yarn, and if I pull this out, you can see how skinny it is, but it has flyaways. And if you add this to a fingering, to any yarn, you can bump up the needle size because it will fill in the holes of your stitches. So kind of in closing, there are many diameters, I want to say, of yarn. And the best thing to do is always read the back of the label, how many stitches per inch. If it says 20 stitches equals 4 inches, just divide 20 by 4, so it's 5 stitches per inch, usually on a size 7 or 8 needle. That will give you a worsted weight gauge and needle. Not to say that you can't get that on a DK, the same stitch count, on a size 5 or 6 needle. So don't be swayed in needle size, but it is based on what yarn diameter. This is a great beginning tool to look at. Again, I'm always here at the Stitchin Post, and you're welcome to give us a call, and we can go over weights a little more in depth if you'd like. Talk to you all soon. Bye-bye.